We are on our way to a 3-day survival camp, which was supposed to happen last year, but it didn't, and so here we are now in winter time doing this, which is terrifying, but I'm excited, kind of. I mean, it was really hard to get out of bed this morning, and I kind of wanted to just read my book in like luxury all day, but I signed up for this, so here we go!
Of a mixture of you guys that are in here, and hopefully we're going to equip you with some skills to be able to give you some confidence, so when you're out there and the worst happens, and hopefully it won't ever happen, that you'll have a little bit of tools in your toolkit and a little bit of confidence as well to be able to go and adapt to the outdoors. Today you guys are going to be building some natural shelters. You're going to be using bits of wood. It's always a good idea to know what you can do to try and tie those bits of wood to where you want them to be, and most importantly, tie them in such a way that they'll actually stay there. There's the old adage, if you can't tie a knot, tie a lot, and that's kind of the fallback. So if you go away from this course and you think, geez, I just can't remember that at all, keep tying it. And this first one's going to be for lashing a centre pole. If we could imagine, let's say we're going to make a really small shelter, we want a pole that comes across here, and we want to be able to lash it to whatever it is we're tying. Tie your overhand knot. Now you got a loop. This loop is really simple. It means that it's called a granny. It's a granny knot. Doesn't matter if it's not something small. Great. Cool. Alrighty, I'm just going to find myself a bit of a pole that I can use.
Okay, we'll see.
We'll see.
Got it. Thank you.
I feel comfortable with this. Did it go right here?
Like I did.
Okay.
Make a P. Make a P. Put the bite up to the middle. Bite up through.
So you can actually lock this down like this.
Made like a little knot at each end, but this is so that it's got more tension and more leverage to pull it tighter.
Yeah, that's right. So for your shelter, when you're putting the shelter up, to get good tension, you need to do this.
Yeah.
Not only the ridge line, the centre one, but also the ones that go off to the pegs.
Mm-hmm.
This is how you make they made rope ladders. Now the bag. You can make this smaller and just put it through here if you want, but in this case here, I'm just going to put it on here, like that, put those up around the tree, set that there. And the good thing about that, it wants to go around there because the tree's on the angle like this, that's why it wants to shoot from the back. Like Gary said, these things are easy accessible.
It's a men's hat, so I'll fit right in with the men's club down there. Actually, let me use this. I can make sure I look good for the wilderness. Alright, let's go.
How do you feel about staying out here another night than you thought you were?
Oh yeah, so I definitely did not realize that I was going to be sleeping out like in a homemade shelter tonight. but I'm kind of excited. I'm just a bit embarrassed because I brought my white pillow, like an actual pillow. Here, let's walk. Let's walk and talk. So far so good. I was a little bit embarrassed when I turned up like wearing lip gloss, and it's like, I was a bit embarrassed when I turned up wearing lip gloss and like my RB and Opal. Oh shoot, I wanted to get my glove. No, I don't need them. My RB and Opal designer sweatsuit, and it's like 10 men that are all hunters and like their orange camo and shit. So I definitely felt a bit embarrassed, but I'm feeling more comfortable now. Everyone's super nice, super welcoming. I think it just is a little bit added pressure when you show up to this stuff as like a woman to like do everything correctly. Otherwise, I'm like, don't want anyone to have the perception that like I'm a stupid like girly girl and you can't tell me not, I can't skin a rabbit, which none of that is true, but just all stuff that goes through your head when you show up to a boys club like this. But I'm excited.
You're obviously going to ask yourself a couple of questions about siting your shelter, like where is the best place to site your shelter, and so ideally, you know, flat ground, well draining, all that's awesome scenarios. Site your shelter close to resources, so if there's a big stack of firewood not far away, well, are you better off to site your shelter up there, so you're reducing the amount of times that you have to go and collect your firewood because it'll be on your doorstep. All right. What about your water source? How far away is that? Can I be a little bit closer but not right down by the river? Need to be elevated above the stream or river itself. Once you've taken all that into consideration, you're now at the stage where you're going to be looking at putting your shelter up, but you've also got to keep in mind the design or the type of shelter that you're going to put up, whether it's an A-frame, whether it's a lean-to, whether it's something in between. So it'd be always a good idea to sort of have in the back of your mind, okay, this is the type of shelter that I would put up. If I was by myself, I may have to change that style of shelter if I've got my mates with me. This is the A-frame we're doing at this. I reckon A-frames are really good if you and your buddy are in there. But if you're by yourself, I find the coldest shelters there is, because your fire would be down at one end. Even if your fire had a reflector wall to be able to reflect the heat back into your shelter, it doesn't provide enough heat to go through the shelter. And you end up sleeping sideways this way, like that, curled up to be able to receive enough heat from your fire to keep you warm. But not an issue if you've got two people in there. Right, so here's tarps. You'll find that a lot of these haven't got eyelets on them. Funny that, eh? So bush buttons are going to have to be used. Some pair up here. There's some cord here that we can utilise. If there's no cord attached to your tarps, then come back here. What I'll do is I'll just site that right here so people know where it is. I can feel it, a couple of drips. So don't worry about perfect ground. I know you've considered that, but just get the thing up.
But you do end up sleeping on a banana,
Yeah.
because you've got to go around that pole.
Yeah.
Well, I thought this was a tarp, but apparently it's a poncho, so I'm going to try and make a shelter with this. I'm going to see how big it is. Okay. I know what to do.
Make the P and then pull up.
I think so, but
So see if we can do that first, because we use that as a slip knot.
I think we made. I did earlier work, but correct.
Tie slip knot first, then it'll make life a lot easier.
You make a P
Yep, make the P,
and then pull it.
poke a bite through.
Oh. Yeah.
Pull that. No, not all the way through. We're only making slip knots. So
Okay.
just a little one. Okay. That's it. That's it. Let's get over the button. Yep. Now get your button piece. Finish it off like you normally would. So through there. Yep. All the way through.
You know, the only freaking thing that I know how to do. Now,
So what would you do also?
I don't remember any of these knots.
This. By putting something across here and tying that up.
Randy knot.
See this? We've made this little circle here.
Yep.
We're going to poke that
See how the
through. Sorry, it's very hard for you to see.
Yeah. Okay. And then.
And then
This has
you pull that towards your fingers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it goes up through there. Up through.
Up through
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, through there. Yeah, that's the one. That's the one.
Now what?
Take your fingers out.
Maybe legs.
There we go. There we go.
Okay.
That's it. Just pull it a little bit tighter. Now I've got tension.
Okay.
We'll try it again on the other side. Do a reset.
So that's again.
Yep. I am just going to shorten up this end for you so that you've got more room at that end.
Oh, that's how you said it.
So that gives you an option if you haven't got a tree tie option. Another option. This.
Ta-da!
We'll get in it.
Welcome to my crib. Come inside. I'm hoping to have a fire there in that pit. It's still very exposed on the sides, so I'm gonna have to fix that.
On this.
But so far,
The trees.
so good. Right.
So what? Oh yeah.
They had these two Kiwi girls on it, the wild twins. Yeah, she did good.
Africa, did we go to Africa?
Yeah, and they were showing up those two blokes there with. Yeah, they were real good. They caught a feed. We caught some fish.
Too.
Yeah.
We got Africa on that so many years ago.
Oh my gosh, they missed.
And said,
Hello.
so what would look really good if you put your biscuit, which is in through here, your face through there, and smile.
No.
That's good for morale, you know?
Yeah, that's true. You can
Yeah.
do it. Here, you do it.
No. I know what I look like.
Yeah.
So you've got a good water catchment device here, so it's going to channel down there and you're going to collect your water down the far side, are you? Is that what's going to happen? Is that why you've got this natural
No,
sort of angle happening?
that was accidental. But I could probably fix that if I did another button here and then. But it's very open on this side, so it's not a very good shelter.
So improvements for next side out enough or something?
I think it's just not at the right placement. It needs to be back there.
Yeah.
Like needs to be back on that.
So people either accept this or then they change it. Because what will happen is it'll pour down with rain.
Yeah.
2-3 o'clock in the morning where humans are very lazy, they won't fix the issue. And while you've got daylight on your side now, you've got the energy,
Yeah.
you'd want to make sure that it's
Fix
squared
it.
away.
Otherwise the rain could come down here and I could dig a tiny little trench, but we wouldn't want to use that energy, right?
Or you just get a bush button here
Oh, okay.
and
Oh,
that's
yeah.
it, done.
Okay. And then, but that doesn't fix that it's very exposed. Still on the side.
Yeah,
so
but
we
do
could
what
just
you're
try-
doing now with using them the fronds
Yeah.
is to put them around the side to offer you that greater protection.
And then my original thought was to have fire down in here, but this is obviously all
Yeah.
flammable.
Tree
But it
roots.
could maybe work.
maybe there is trees, but maybe the trees are spaced too far apart and you can't find a long enough pole to be able to go in between those two anchor points. So what are your next option? Okay, well, let's build a tripod. Let's have a tripod. Probably gotta tighten it a little bit now. Oh, cool as. Nice. Right, what is that the beginning of? Looked like that was made for that, eh? Another good thing about doing this is that often you haven't got really long pieces of timber. So it gives you the option that you maybe only need to find 3 or 4, and then you can use the smaller ones, because generally there's lots of those in the bush, but not so much of the bigger ones. Do I need to lash these? Don't need to lash those, do I?
What are you working on?
I'm gonna build a shelter in which I will sleep in tonight. And I don't know what it's called, but it's gonna be good. Probably doesn't. Wait a second. Always start with a granny knot. Yeah.
How's the memory on the lashing, Sarah?
Oh, you know,
Getting there?
just improvising.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I would just go like around here.
Yeah, I'm getting a little short.
See how you can, yeah, I'll just back off a couple.
Okay.
Take off a couple of, where's it go?
Yeah, it's not too heavy, but maybe once I stack it up, it might be.
Yeah, pull it right back up towards you again.
And then
do
just
one more.
down.
Yep.
And then,
Yeah, that's it, that's it. And then you can tie it, you can do another wrap, or you can tie it off.
okay,
That won't shift.
thank you. Some longer ones. Starting to rain a little bit.
Yeah.
All right, I need some long guys. I'll go over here. Looking good.
cut these into little strips because this is great because it's not affected by water. So if this got wet and damp, well, as long as you've got a constant flame, so through the use of a match or a lighter, then you'll be able to get that going. So I'll burn that. So teepees are good if you've got your pot hanging above your fire, because all the heat goes to the centre point and then up. So that's really good. Teepees are good if you've got, you want to boil your water or something in the pot. Now, if everything else is wet like this, but I haven't used it and I don't want to use it now because at some stage it's going to die down, why don't I take the opportunity to start drying this out while I've actually got a heat source? Don't let this die down and all your tinder's sitting in the dirt here going, it's gone out. I've only got wet stuff now. So take the opportunity to start drying this stuff. Yep.
Just easier.
Because it's quite flat there, how about just go on that edge there and the top there.
I haven't got strong enough hands.
And less than 45, so put your hand that way.
Yep.
Heaps of pressure. Heaps of pressure.
Sometimes, like if you some people just can't stop that hand from going forward.
This is whether you have a warm night or not, the billet should be able to get enough.
And you just pull that. Start them up. If you're moving it forward like that, the spark sort of goes here and then it'll move like that.
Yeah, now you're cooking on gas. That's it.
Everybody, so this is where I slept last night. I got a pretty good fire going. I've put it out now, but I got a good fire going and stayed up till about midnight looking after that, which was interesting. The survival coach said that the fire becomes your life, and I learned that it definitely does. It was like the only entertainment that I really had. And I was desperate for it to not go out. So I stayed up pretty late, making sure that didn't happen. And just riding the wave of the fire going out, and you're like, oh no, I need to grow the fire again. And then the fire getting really big, and then it getting really little, and almost watching the fire evolve the whole night, which was oddly entertaining. It moved over to this side, and then it was too close to the shelter, so I had to try and inch it back over here. And then I didn't have enough wood though, so I was up quite a lot gathering wood in the middle of the night, and also peeing a lot, not just having to pee a little bit and then going, peeing a lot. And I told the survival coach that this morning, and he was like, it's because it's cold, so it's very normal to pee when it's very cold. And I can confirm that it was freezing anytime the fire would go out. So I think I was pretty much only maybe slept 30 minutes at a time, and then would just kind of get up and then tend to the fire. And at one point I was out of wood again, so I started pulling down pieces of my shelter to put in the fire. But yeah, I'm pretty proud of sleeping in this. Things that I thought I would worry about, I didn't worry about at all. I didn't really even see any bugs. The ground was quite hard, but that was the least of my worries. I'd say most of it revolved around fire. When I did finally lay down and try and rest a little bit, I only found myself worrying about how am I going to do this for another night, but by myself with no one else around in camp. So I think I was just kind of fixated on those two things. But I would, this morning when the sun finally came up, I was like, oh, fuck, because I finally had a roaring, a huge, massive fire. And I was finally dozing off into sleep, and I was like, oh, I just want to sleep more. But I was really trying to find actual some enjoyment with being out here, and I don't think I've got to that stage yet with being able to hear the birds. Some of it was cool, but it wasn't really enjoying being at one with nature. It was really truly just trying to get through the night. I think it probably would take a while to get to that stage, and yeah, I think ultimately that would be really cool. Sleeping in my shelter, I hadn't really thought much about that. I think I overall had a gratitude for what nature can provide, but again, it was like focus on the fire. So like when a piece of wood would be like really wet but would somehow burn, I'd be like, oh, thank God, nature, like you have so much to provide. But in terms of the shelter, I like didn't really think about that. Actually wish for my solo night, if I do that, I'm gonna do like a more of a teepee, because I found this to be quite exposed, and if I'm out, like when I'm out by myself, I don't want it to be so open. But yeah, the shelter's fine. I think if anything, I like just want to make it better, but I think that's kind of how I am. So the only other weird thing was that there was a really strange noise around like 3 a.m. and at first I thought it was an airplane, but it was like, oh, and I was like, what the fuck? It almost sounded like a spaceship, if those were a thing, which maybe they are, who knows. Or like at one point I was like, is this literally like an asteroid or something coming for Earth? Because it was so loud and so strange. And when I woke up this morning, I asked everyone else and they also heard it, and no one knows what it is. It was definitely very odd. Oh, the other thing is that I burnt myself like 20 times. So a big learning is that fire is hot. Who would have thought that? So yes, that's one of my biggest takeaways. So today we have a few more things, and then we should be headed out to our solo sites around, I think, 1 o'clock. Yeah, so we'll see what else is in store for today. I think we'll be skinning a rabbit soon here.
So we're talking about putting our traps and snares out, visual signs, indicators, animal droppings, which is often a really good sign about how big that animal is, any fur, feathers that are around, and then about trying to chase them down. So for killing one of these, once again, you're going to have to get a snare. To capture it, you have to get a snare or something like that. People say put snares near their burrows. I'm not a believer of that. Cut through here, through here, through here. Through here, you could do that. Yep, absolutely, you could do that. But the method that we're going to choose today, because we don't need to retain this fur. If you need to retain the fur, absolutely, what you would do with your knife is you'd be uppermost, you make a little cut in here, and you'd run your knife all the way up through here, making sure that the blade is uppermost, because you don't want to push the blade into the guts and even everything up. And you go all the way through here, you go all the way through here, all the way through there, up through the legs, through here like this, through here like this, and you can make cuts around here so that it comes off easier. And that's if we want to, we'll actually do that method, and we'll do the other method as well. And then that way there, this is where the razor blade's going to come in behind me.
So that's all it's guts under there?
Yeah, that's the bit you guys are going to do.
Maybe we could move away from the other
Yeah,
guts.
if you want. Oh, there's that razor blade that I was looking for. I thought I brought it.
Should I just poke a hole through?
No,
or
no.
just keep going?
So see how you're doing this?
Yeah.
I want you to do it like this.
Okay. So much fur.
Would eels almost be like a superfood?
Stay down.
Because they'll be like real high in
Fat. If you ate rabbit the whole time, you'd die, you'd shit yourself. There's not enough fat in it. And so what happened is your body will start to rob vital nutrients. What are we talking about?
Eels.
Oh yeah, so you have the fat and that's good, eh? But this here, you rob yourself of vital bloody nutrients and shit yourself. So you have some muscles, don't you? That's it.
Just keep going,
Keep going.
Around, or?
Just keep pulling in the opposite direction. That's it.
little eye.
Possums like this as well.
Same deal, yeah.
There we go.
I'm not a big fan.
Have a little handle on
handbag.
everything.
Yeah, you'll sell that for bloody $150 in Remuera shop, wouldn't you?
Oh,
that
more
one?
than that.
Yeah, yeah, 300.
Okay.
All right, happy with that?
I feel satisfied, yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
It's downward pressure on it, of course.
Same as milking cows.
Yeah.
Almost, but when you buckle it down like that, there's too much resistance, there's too much wire in contact with the wood. So if you keep it like that, slightly down, and then move it like this, you find it a heck of a lot easier, and it won't bind up. Right, grab yourself a mate and have a go, do it, find your rhythm, find your mojo. Go for it. Go. So don't pull forward, I'll pull your arms forward.
Quite exhausting.
Yep. Pull back, pull back. That's it. Now we've got, oh, that'll do. Keep it straight. Hold the piece of wood, pick the knife up, remove the hand, pick the bush hammer up, hit the spine of the knife, tap, tap, tap. Done. Remember that there is always either facing that way or that way.
Okay.
Are you a lefty?
No. But I keep
Hold that
thinking-
way.
I think I keep holding things with my wrong hand.
Yeah, I think you do.
Because I did that with the ferro rod too.
How do we correct that now? We tap. Try that in there first, eh? Give it heaps. That's it. Now the tip. There you go.
Phew.
Right. So this is an example you want to cut. I'll just put this under my arm here. And I'm gonna go in this fine angle. See my nice and this fine angle there? Forehand grip there. You might have to have a couple of attempts at it like this. That's what we want. So knife, remember, always away from us, no hands in front, anything like this. Now another way what we could do is if you had your bush hammer, you could possibly give the ones something like this, hits, or if there was a tree trunk on the ground, you could push it down to that and do it like that.
I cheated a little bit.
Fibrosy there, it's right down there, isn't it? See that? All those strands. This here's a bit better by the looks of it.
Is the Mamakoo the only one that's black? Like, is
Yeah,
it
man.
misidentifiable?
Nah, I'll show you it. And you'll go, oh yeah, 100%. So you're going to be eating some of this. This is your lunch. Do you know how I said that you're going to have some lunch? You won't be disappointed. Now listen, I thought I was onto a winner here. It's very, very flavourless, but it has got sort of maybe a tinge of raw potato, let's say. So I thought, oh, here's an idea. I'm going to slice this up and I'm going to fry it, and it's going to be like crisps. I thought, I'm onto a winner. But it just started to soak up all the oil and never crisped up, so it didn't win. I didn't win that one. But good idea. What are you thinking, guys? Pick it up. Pick it up. Be careful when you pick it up, Lone. That might be the giveaway. That might be the key point that will let you know what that is. As an individual, apply the principles of survival. So that's first aid, clothing, shelter, fire, location, water and food. Maintain and look after yourself, clothing and equipment. Construct a shelter, drying rack and reflector for your fire. That's when the poncho might come in handy for that. Light and maintain a fire. Construct a natural shelter to sleep under. Complete a workable location plan for day and night rescue. So when I come to you and say, what's your daytime plan, what's your nighttime plan? Construct and position as many location aids for effective rescue. So that's the arrows, that's the scuffing, that's the silver fern on the ground. Construct a hunting tool or improvise aid to improve your survival situation.
Okay, I'm just getting to my solo site and I am collecting a little bit of tinder, but the next thing I'll do, probably before I collect much more wood, is build a shelter. Definitely feeling some spirits, energies on this land right now. Nothing bad, but definitely something's there. Okay, so far I've collected a lot of little things to use for tinder, which burns up pretty fast. So once I am done with that, I think it's probably start to get some little bigger sticks. Ooh, look at that little guy. So I've just come from down there. I am making my way up the hill a bit where it's a bit sunnier, a bit drier. Looking for some sticks about this size and some dry wood. So I'm just using a knife and a bush hammer here to splinter off some pieces of this wood. Nice and dry. It's pretty useful. Start up here. All that work for this piece of wood. I have just gotten most of my shelter up. I had to cut down quite a lot of dead trees. I honestly didn't think it would come this far, but so far it is actually looking really good and it's feeling more hopeful. So I've got my heat blanket there, a little barrier. That's where the fire's gonna go, hopefully. Make sure it doesn't melt the tarp. Some firewood there. I'm gonna try and put a heat reflecting wall right there. And I've added this plant for privacy. No, I just wanted to feel really safe and like enclosed in, because it can be uncomfortable out here, but actually the biggest thing that's been getting me is feeling scared, and that will probably come up tonight. So just trying to make sure it feels like a little nest, and obviously there's nothing out here that can really get me, but one of the guys last night actually woke up next to a possum, so I really don't want that. So I filled this little gap in here. Alright, so this is starting to feel complete. I moved the tarp from over there to actually back there, so you can see it's very secure. Feels very safe, nestled in. I just need to start getting some firewood now. So, bigger logs, because that's gonna burn up really fast. Okay, I might have hit the jackpot with wood. Either that, or this is all gonna be way too rotted to burn. Well, that looks, yeah, we'll see. All right, I'm gonna try and dig into this old dry stump behind me and see. It's probably gonna burn pretty fast, but it might be decent wood. Okay, I've just got a bunch of that. I'm gonna stop there for now because I'm not even sure if this is gonna burn. Maybe I'll do a tester because I don't want to spend all my time getting this if it's gonna burn up in like 2 seconds or if it doesn't burn at all. Never really used this kind of wood before, but everything else is so wet. So if this works, this is like a gold mine. So I've devised this bag for my rain cover, for my pack, because I'm starting to get really tired making trips back and forth. Just gonna unload this and get some of the loose dirt off of it. I don't think that will help the fire any. And then just keep it over here, I guess. I don't want it right by the fire. I want the more wet logs by the fire so they dry out a bit. This is quite flammable. I kind of want it away. God, I hope it's flammable. Okay, this is the first bug that's actually scared me. Are you sure it's just a grasshopper? If I was in a real survival situation, I'd probably be eating that right now. But I have a granola bar, so I'm gonna stick with that for today. Hi, I'm Sarah, and welcome to my crib. Alright, so this is the back of the shelter. Here we are. You're gonna see it this side. Come on in. Something's wet. Fuck. Okay, this is kind of nifty. I've used a fire extinguisher to make a makeshift tripod. And I guess I'm just gonna get some coals going and maybe go get some more wood. Don't want to make my bed yet because I don't want bugs to crawl into it. Alright, so right now I'm just processing some of the wood to take off all the bark, which is holding a lot of water content in because it's been raining. I don't want to light my fire yet because there's still some daylight and I don't want to burn through all my wood. So I'm just going to do this until about, let's say 5:30, so another hour. And then I'll get the firelight lit, and then at 6 o'clock, the survival camp is going to do a final check to make sure that everything's set up before they leave me for the night. I think they're going to be happy with everything. I'm just worried they're going to think that the enclosure that I'm in is a fire hazard, which it might be, but I have a fire extinguisher. So I'm really hoping they let me get away with this. Okay, I don't know why, but I woke up last night at like 3 a.m. with this Taylor Swift song in my head, and it's been on repeat all day. Don't call me kid, don't call me baby, look at this idiotic fool that you made me. What song is that? That's, You showed me colors I can't say with anyone else. For you I would ruin myself. A million little times. Oh, this ground is so hard. And I am too old to not be sleeping in a bed. Let me tell you that much. I don't even think this has bark on it that can come off. It is sopping wet. Alright, I'm ready to start my fire, and I'll be using a ferro rod. And some cotton balls. Some of them have Vaseline on them, which helps them stay lit for longer. I'm just gonna get some air going up in there. Get these loosened up a bit. Set that on the ground. Wish me luck. Doesn't want to go today. Alright, this is gonna burn fast, so we just want to keep building it. Once it gets going, we'll put this on. Alright, so far so good. I think I might just move this wood over here so that it's not a fire hazard, although most of it is pretty damp. I'm looking for the right fire stick. Yay high, this thick. Finance, fire poker. Yay high, this thick. Looking for the right fire poker. Yay high, this thick, dry. Yay high, this thick, dry. Alright, it's starting to get dark, so it's getting real. There's nothing out here that can hurt me. Possums, stay away. Fire's going. Pretty proud of it. Now for the freaking 12-hour marathon of trying to keep the fire alive. Do you guys hear that? It's like nature's own little laser gun. You guys hear that? Pew, 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 pew. It's like a video game. My little robot friend here. Alright guys, so this is my dinner. A sausage. Someone gave it to me actually, another camper, before we all set off on our journeys. I'm not mad about it. gluten-free. You guys, I'm eating this sausage, right? I'm like, I'm gonna eat the whole thing so animals don't smell it. And then I'm like, I wonder what the nutrition facts are. It says 4.9 grams of protein. I'm like, what? And then I look. Literally, there are 10 servings in this. Why would this be 10 servings? So what's 4.9 times 10? 49. Carbs, 0.6. That's not bad. 0.6 times 10. 6 grams of carbs. Not even that much fat. Okay, I guess I'm fine eating this, but why is it 10 servings? Here's my camp. So my goal for tonight is to try and enjoy being in nature. Right now I'm enjoying the fire. I'm enjoying the sound of some bird out there. I am enjoying the cows when I hear them moo. I'm enjoying looking at the sky, patches of sky in between the trees. Makes it look a little bit less dark. It's definitely quite intense, like when you're looking straight out, because all you see is like tall trees in the shadows. And it's super dark. I'm not even gonna look out there. Keep my eyes on the fire, baby. It's nice there's not really any bugs. I think I've seen like one big spider the whole 2 days I've been here. That grasshopper, which, whatever, that's not really a bug. There was like some little sandflies about earlier, like little mosquito gnat things, but I don't see any of those now. I'm super tempted to read my book, but I'm just trying to check myself on like why I want to read my book. Is it like an escape, or is it truly just for enjoyment? It sounds really enjoyable just to be reading my book by the fire right now. So I might. I mean, I'm already testing myself enough by sleeping out here. So yeah. Ooh, I know what I can do. Y'all, this is some grade A stretching right here. Little things. Okay, low-key though, it's 6:40 and that's all the wood I have left. I guess I could burn that. That's drying. And then I have a bunch of like flammable kindling over here. And some other dead stuff, and then I could also burn that probably, but I know this isn't gonna be enough for the night. Oh wow. I didn't realize I could use a flash on a video. So now you can see what I have going on in here. Well, the one thing I wanted to say was these poles going into the fire, they're called feeder poles. Pretty self-explanatory, but as they break down and burn up, you just push them in. It's super nice, especially if you're like sleeping around the fire. And I thought it would burn down the wood, but it really doesn't, especially because this wood is quite wet. So like that part's burning, this part's drying because it's so close to the fire, and then by the time this part gets there, it's all ready to go in and burn up. It's 6:40, so they're gonna tap us out at 7 tomorrow. I'll probably stay up, well, most of the night, but at least until 12, minding the fire. Although I have a much better wrangle on it than I did yesterday. The universe is working for me right now. And right now, all is fine and dandy. I'm just waiting for the ball to drop. But maybe it won't. It also doesn't have to. I'm in control of my thoughts, so... I'm in control of me and my thoughts. Thought I just saw something. Trying to positive mantras. Alright, this flash is blinding me and I don't like it. Bye. Guys, I kid you not, one of the other students woke up with a fucking possum in their structure last night. Their shelter. I kid you not, that is like, out of all the things that could, like, someone could potentially be scared of out here, that's what I'm thinking about. That goddamn possum. Our instructor was like, oh yeah, a lot of people think that, like, the fire keeps them away, which was totally my rationale, like, all night last night. And he's like, no, actually, possums love to cuddle up by the fire. Bitch. I pray to God I do not wake up with a possum next to me. But also, that's kind of cute. But also, have you seen possums? But I should have asked that guy what happened when he woke up and the possum was there. Like, did it run away? Did it hiss? Like, I need to know more details. Why didn't I ask more details about that? My instructor, Stu, says that he actually sleeps with earplugs in. And I had thought about it. I actually have them in my pack. But I'm like, don't I kind of want to hear what's going on around me? But he must just be that confident that it's that safe that, like, you can literally put earplugs in and you're fine. I just don't like the idea of, like, a possum or something, like, coming in and around and me not hearing it. At the same time, though, like, that's probably really helpful to, like, block out those little noises that, like, kind of scare you a little bit. I had a blessing today, though. I was gathering wood, and I heard a massive... This was like 5 minutes after being left alone, and I was like, fuck, I heard a massive noise, and I was like, great, I'm already fucking scared. I was like, okay, what could it be? There's cows, like, kind of off the property. Maybe one of the cows has wandered over. Yada, yada. It sounded like someone was, like, tromping through the woods. I was like, this has to be a cow or a human. And I was like, hello? No humans. At this point, the instructor was also, like, dropping off everyone else at their site. So, like, truly there was no one very close at all. I'm looking. I'm hearing, like, tree branches breaking. There's not really deer here, so, like, it wasn't a deer. And I was like, what the fuck? And then I look up in the tree, and it's a fucking massive-ass bird making that much noise. So that was really good for me to see in the daytime. That a bird, I think he called it, like, a wood pigeon? Wood pigeon. If a bird can make that much noise, and I hear something like that in the nighttime, it's probably just a bird. That's my motto. That's gonna be my motto. Because, like, who's scared of birds? Actually, though, I went through a phase where I was, like, scared of pigeons, because in San Francisco, when I used to, like, commute to work, I had a few that, like, flew up in my face while I was, like, walking, because the pigeons there are savage. And I went through, like, a massive bird phobia. Just pigeons, really, I guess, but The birds in New Zealand are cute though. I like them. So I'm going to stick with that motto of it's just a bird. Bird, the bird, the bird is the word. Bird, it's a burb. If I get scared tonight, I'm going to be like, it's just a bird, baby. And then I'll laugh, except for I probably won't. Just a burb, baby. What's wrong with a little bit of burb? Well, now what? Put more logs on the fire, I guess. You guys, I need to talk about the biggest find of the century. Hashtag. These are my new tongs. They are so versatile. Hashtag Martha Stewart. They can lift things without like burning your hands. And this pointed, glowing edge allows for precision control to move any log that you want. This is not sponsored. I genuinely love these tongs. But if you do want to buy them, all you have to do is go to marthastewart.marthastewart.com.net/Sarah123. You can buy these exact tongs. But if you use my code, you get 10% off. But don't worry, I'm not an influencer. This is not a paid advertisement. Thanks, guys. Love you. Okay, you guys, I couldn't finish that freaking sausage. I just could not tolerate another bite. So I think I'm going to go venture out and throw it somewhere really far away so that animals don't smell it. But I also have to shit. Like, genuinely. And I don't want to. Because I need to go far away from my camp, obviously. But, like, I don't want to go very far. Send help. Like, you guys, I don't want to go wandering out there right now. Okay, something's wrong with my headlamp strap, so I'm going to swear it on my bun. Hopefully that works. And I've got my whistle. I'm going to dispose of the sausage and go to the bathroom. Jesus. Fuck, I don't know. Been laying here for a while. It is 11, I think, so about 8 more hours. So far, so good. Fire is still roaring. I am getting low on firewood, but I'm actually quite hot. Oh, I thought that was a bug. So I don't even think I'll need a massive fire tonight. This one's actually getting a bit out of control these days. I had to get up and like put part of it out a minute ago. But yeah, I've just been laying here trying to get comfortable. I got a pretty bad headache. Hoping that goes away. Took some medicine. And a little bit low on water, so won't get any more of that till tomorrow. So trying to save that, but also recognizing that I could use a little bit of water, so. Yeah. Guys, have you heard Skrillex's new set? It sounds like a mix between... Oh my gosh, the fire is going crazy. It sounds like a mix between dubstep and my old freaking dial-up internet back in the 90s. Okay, I kind of want this fire to die down. Careful what you wish for. I want it to die down a little bit. I can finally see a little bit of daylight peeking through the trees. The sky's getting a little bit lighter. I haven't checked the time because around like 1 a.m. it was starting to trip me up a little bit. Not because of anything other than just being a bit uncomfortable, and then I haven't slept more than an hour at a time, so probably slept 2 hours tonight. But I feel fine. Fire's still going, although wood's getting slim. But yeah, I've just been kind of laying here and resting, tending to the fire, resting, tending to the fire. So it's 9 o'clock. I've been sound asleep since about 4:30, 5:30. No one's came to get me yet, so I'm just gonna get some more wood and see if I can get a fire going out of those embers. Those embers lit up nicely. Now we wait. Alright, I found some water from a little reservoir. Didn't look too bad. Lots of sediment had gone to the bottom. Some nice fresh water at the top. Just gonna try and boil it for a bit. Okay, the water did start to boil, but the stick it was on was breaking and it was falling over. I said it was boiling probably about 30 seconds. Maybe longer, but I somehow managed to save it. It was like in the fire. I've now moved it over here just to boil it more for extra precaution. And I've nestled some coals around the side there. All right, so I've just drank what little remained of my water, my fresh water. I am going to use my hat to just filter it a little bit more. I don't think it's necessary, but I also don't want to get like freaking Giardia or something. All right, so that's going through. Hear it hitting the bottom there. Still some sediment. I'm hoping that all catches in the hat. Gonna wait for that to keep dripping down in case there's some in there. All right, we have about half a water bottle, so I think this is 750 mils, about 36 ounces, so that's pretty good. And it didn't take that much effort. I mean, if you've got to drink a couple of these a day, that's got to be a lot, but for this overnight purpose, this should be enough to get me through the rest of the afternoon. It looks really clear. There's no sediment, anything like that. All right, well, I've got some time to kill, so I'm going to find something cool and carve it. So I've decided to start cutting into the supplejack. See if I can make the beginnings of a bow. Alright, so this is my supplejack. It's gonna be the bow. It's nice and bendy. Good resistance. Might be a little too taut, but we'll see. It's gonna be for the arrow, the back of the arrow. And I'm gonna start whittling this down. If it's not too dead. It's too dead, if anyone. Fire. Fire food. Hashtag fire festival. I'm gonna start by making the tip here. One thing that I think might be good out here, if I were ever to do this long term, is to prepare in advance by like learning to be more ambidextrous, because my frickin' hand is cramping up and I haven't really done that much work with it. Plus, like, if you cut your hand or injure your hand or whatever, you need to use the other one. If your left hand is completely useless, like, that's really gonna impact your experience or ability to do pretty much everything. All right, I'm gonna try this water. Tastes good. Well, not good, but a bit manky, but it's water. Hesitant to drink this, honestly. See how I feel in 20 minutes. Although I don't think you'd know for several hours if you drink bad water. So if I had some resin, which I could probably find, I would melt it and try and get some of these bits to stick on for my arrow. Otherwise, I could just tie this on pretty easily. All right, this is the beginnings of my bow. Can really easily tighten and release the tension here. Just use a bit of paracord and some knot tying. Right here is my bow, my arrow. I don't think this is quite how it's done, but I just thought I'd give it a try. I actually don't know how to do it, I just kind of guessed, but this tension part is what we want. I wonder if we need it even more tense, actually. Okay, I've added the finishing touches to my arrow. I hear some cars, so maybe they're coming to get us. Starting to feel a little bit restless, but not bad. There's plenty to do, so like I could even go cook up some supplejack if I wanted to.
I can see a shelter in the distance now. I can hear a voice, that's a great start. Nice and happy and happy. You've got your shoes off still?
Yep. Getting water from over there.
Yeah, did you sterilise it?
I did, but I'm still kind of afraid to drink it.
Don't be afraid, people tested.
I boiled it for a long time and then I put it through here through my hat.
Good one.
So it should be pretty good, but
Be very good. Yeah. So tell us about your experience last night.
I had enough wood to last me till about 6:30, and then I got up both a little bit more and then slept till 9.
Oh,
Yeah.
good job.
Started making a little bit of a bow. Sorry for your paracord, I did cut it.
What do you think you're going to take down with that?
Nothing.
But
But I
keep you
wanted to
busy.
at least try and see like if this would work, if that knot would work.
Good,
But,
yeah. But things like this occupy your mind, right? Keep you busy,
yeah,
but low energy expenditure required to be able to achieve this.
right.
Right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. No, it was good. And
do you think you'd change? You happy with your setup?
I'm really happy with this setup actually because it felt really safe and closed in. And I think this, even though it's black and absorbs heat, I think it did help with put some heat back in. If it rained, it would probably be a different story. Originally, I had the tarp up between these trees, which probably would be good if it rained.
And to maximise that heat from that fire, you're building a wall up here
Oh
to
yeah,
be able to try and push that
yeah,
heat back into your fire. And also if there's a breeze coming through here as well,
yeah,
so you're maintaining your warmth a bit better
yeah.
as well as the fire. So and shelter, good looking shelter, probably about the right size for someone like yourself. Lots, all natural. And anything, more roofing material today, you think, if it was to rain?
Yeah,
Extend it out a bit more?
yeah, I would definitely work on more roofing. These worked quite nice for the sides, just to block out holes. But yeah, I would just keep piling this on until
Yeah,
it
you can
was.
never have enough, eh? Fire, obviously being able to maintain your fire. Your fire looks great. We talked about the reflector wall, maybe a drying rack on top of that. So if it does rain, you've got wet wood, you can place that wood on top of the fire so it receives heat so it dries out.
Yeah,
And then your fire, just like you, needs to be weather protected. And so there, your priorities: survival, morale is good. It looks like honestly you've just had a shower and stepped in here, but you're looking really fresh, and you've made it through the night. This is your third day at SOS, so hopefully you'll be walking out of here, like we've said before, with improved knowledge and confidence, and a bit of an understanding of what to expect in a survival situation, although be it controlled.
yeah.
And so this does give people like yourself an opportunity to, in a controlled environment, to learn skills but also practice skills as well. So well done, congratulations.
Thank you.
You can consider yourself as being rescued from this location.
Woo.